Okay, we are broadcasting everywhere. Just the link went through. Hey, Sean, how are you? I'm good. I didn't even realize it was Sunday. Like, I'm so brain dead because of work. It's weird because we had 4 days off last week, and I'm kind of thrown off by that. I don't know. And then this week, it's the days off have shifted yet again, and so Sundays don't feel like Sundays to me. They feel like midweeks to me. It doesn't feel like the end of the week. So I didn't realize, and then somebody messaged me and said, "Are you gonna? Did I miss the Charming?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" Because she paid me for last week. She paid me for a Charming, watching the video because she didn't realize it wasn't live because I'd gone on early, and so she sent over payment while she was watching the already live video. She was watching it in replay and didn't realize it. She thought it was live. So I'm coming on to you're spending too much time on what, online? Oh, well, that's nice to know. Be careful, you don't want to throw your neck out. Hey, Lisa, how are you? I hope she shows up. She just messaged me, so, because she paid last week during last Sundays, and I didn't realize it was Sunday, like today. It's a good thing she messaged. Because I was sitting on my bed, like, almost ready to fall asleep. That's the other thing, because like I get up so early now, like literally I was up at 5 this morning. So I try not to take a nap after work because I get off of work at 3:30. So I try and stay awake until I go to bed at like 8, 8:30, 9, like really early so that I can get up early in the morning. Because it's easier with the dogs that way. So you want a Charming, Lisa? Okay, hold on, let me set up the camera. It's good. It's quiet, but it's good. But I have to be present and available to the phone. So I'm like tethered to the desk every day, but I don't have to leave the house, which is good. And the money's good. So that's great. Excuse me. I'm going to switch cameras really quick. Maybe that's not the right button. Okay, that looks really far away. Why is that? Maybe that's better. All right, Lisa, so we're doing, let's put this up under here. All right, so Lisa wants on current relationship. So you have one letter, which is an A, and the number 1. It's funny when I look at this, I feel like even though you're asking about your current relationship, I feel like this is about you, or it's about being sort of self-focused right now. Part of the reason why I say that obviously is the number 1 here that we have in the A with the Scrabble letter, but it's like the baby feels very new to me. I'm not taking it literal. I'm taking it more like the idea of birth. And so this idea of it's like a new chapter or a freshly born child, right? Like there's a new way. And I feel like this green Tara is you right now, Lisa. I feel like this is about sort of honoring yourself. And this would be in the present time moment, right? Down through the center here. And so when I look at this next to the dragonfly, dragonfly can be a symbol of not only spirit, but also a symbol of illusion. And so I feel like Green Tara, because she's sort of like this deity or this goddess, right? It's like sort of starting to see yourself as a more empowered person in your life is sort of the feeling that I'm getting, or what I'm looking at. And this baby to me feels like the newness of that, like you've been maybe kind of coming into this change or this cycle, this change of perception. You might be putting yourself first, even though you're in a relationship. It's not to say that you don't love your partner or that your partner's not important to you, but I feel like this speaks more to the relationship of the self. I feel like these two charms indicate to the past. The needle and thread always gives me that feeling of like delicateness or a little bit of handiwork. There might have been some work required in the relationship, but it wasn't like super hard work. It was more about detail-oriented work. And then the donut to me is always sort of about like indulgence and the richness of life and enjoyment. So I feel like that stuff of the past, or it's not that you're not enjoying the relationship, but I feel like the relationship is more to the self right now. Or that's maybe where your focus is right now. The other reason why I feel that is we have the symbol for Cancer or the crab. And to me, that always is like this sort of aspect of nurturing. It's about one's moods. It's about the energy of Cancer, which I think you have Cancer placed in your chart. Aren't you like a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer or something like that? So it's all that water energy too. Also, it's up in the higher mind, which would be your intuition. And I kind of feel like that coupled with this dragonfly, it's about listening to the more subtle voices inside of yourself and trusting them, right, as your own knowledge. And so, and then we also have the graduation cap here too. And that feels personal to me. It doesn't necessarily feel like this is, maybe you guys have graduated to a different part of your relationship. And now it's time for you to kind of focus on you a little bit. So you're asking about your relationship, and I really feel like these charms feel like the focus is on the self. This says, act as if you have already become the person you want to be. And again, that makes me feel like focused on the self, right? It's saying act as if you've become the person you've already want to be. So the focus is again on the self. So I'm wondering if, even though your question is about your current relationship, I think it feels like the charms want to guide me towards talking about the growth or whatever it is you might be pursuing within yourself right now. That to me feels far more impactful, powerful, and important. And so when I look at these charms, I think that right now the phase might be where if you're feeling lonely or disconnected from your partner, I'm not saying that you are, but I'm saying if you're feeling that way or you're feeling like you're dealing with stuff on your own right now, I think that might be part of the cycle that you're in. And it actually is a really good thing. This is about trusting yourself and your own sort of awareness, knowledge, whatever it is that you're working with, nurturing that, honoring that, feeling your way through that, and allowing yourself to kind of grow or learn as you go through this period. So if you're feeling like, and maybe it's not a disconnection, but maybe there's some space that's happening between the two of you. Nothing, I don't get a sense or feel that anything is wrong per se. I just feel like you might be kind of growing or changing. That's the baby to me. It indicates like new birth or change, right? And the idea of the experience of that. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that these are all really good charms. I just think that it's, if you're asking about them, this isn't about them to me. This is about you. And like almost wanting to like continue to learn, evolve, and grow so that we bring this up like this and bring her to here and place her in the center. That's sort of the way that I feel like, or the way that I feel that the charms want to move. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Hey, Kelly Talbot, how are you? I haven't read everybody's comments. Sorry, I'm going back. Ashley, yes, I can do your reading tonight if you'd like. You're welcome, Lisa. Kelly, did you want to get a you're still on my Patreon reader list, aren't you? I believe you are. Let me just rewrite the list because I ran out of space. Give me 1 second, guys. I wasn't ready because I didn't know it was Sunday, so I was totally brain dead on that one. The funny thing is the person that messaged me about this tonight that reminded me it was Sunday isn't even here. I told her I was getting on. She paid me last week for Charming. She didn't realize that she was watching a replay of a live that had happened earlier in the day, which I thought was kind of funny. Give me one moment, guys. I'm just writing down everybody, transferring the list because I run out of paper. Oh, wait, that's not right. That's the wrong name. Lisa. Lisa. Kelly. Rita. Tammy. Ashley. Ashley, you'll be next, okay? Just give me 1 minute. Vicky. And Rose. Okay, so we're at June. I can't believe it's already June, July, August, September, October, and then November. Okay, so that was Lisa for June. It just helps me to track who's getting what. And then we're going to do Ashley for June. Ashley, did you want a Charming? Hi, Vicky, how are you? No, I think you still are, Kelly. I'm pretty sure you're still on the Patreon. You haven't collected in a long time. Like, I haven't seen you in a while. You want cards? Okay, I can move the charm board. Does anybody else? Is anybody here? Hey, Dorothy, how are you? Is anybody here wanting a Charming right now? So I don't have to move the. I'm going to clear this off, Lisa. And Kelly, you can choose cards or a Charming. It's up to you. Because I don't think you've been around since I started offering card readings. So some people, if they don't want a Charming every month, they can just get a card reading, a quick card reading with clarifiers. Stephen, this is for people that are on my Patreon or people that are purchasing readings. So you can purchase readings via the PayPal link that's in this link here. In there is a PayPal link. Did I just send that? No, I didn't. There we go. In the Restream link, or sorry, not the Restream link, in the Linktree link, there's a PayPal payment button that you would press and you would send $25 and then you can have either a Charming or a card reading. Other than that, Sunday nights are reserved for basically people that either support me at the Patreon page or that are purchasing readings. You're all right. No need to apologize, Stephen. Kelly, if you wanted cards or not, that's just an option. I'm going to do a card reading really quick for Ashley, and then you can make a decision if you wanted cards or charms, or whichever one. So let me pull. I'm going to give you a choice of 3 different decks tonight. I'm going to give you, I don't want, well, all right. Well, yeah, we'll do that one. And then we'll do this one. All right. So you get a choice of, oh, sorry. This is not really well situated. Hold on. All right, that works. So you've got deck number 1, deck number 2, or deck number 3, Ashley. So whichever deck you want, you have to call out the number, whichever one's calling to you, 1, 2, or 3. 2? All right. And did you have a one-word topic, or do you just want a general reading, Ashley? Love. Okay, perfect. So in your center is the King of Cups. That's a beautiful center to have for a love reading. The King of Cups would indicate sort of, I don't know why, but I feel like this is your center. It's like you're desirous of love, you're open to love, you really, really want love, you're a hopeless romantic probably at heart, but I feel like you don't want to give up control. And that's not necessarily a traditional King of Cups meaning, but I feel like that is the deal with him. Like the minute I flipped him over, I felt like, oh, she wants love really bad and she's really into it. But the king aspect makes me feel like, but is she really willing to be sort of vulnerable to it, right? I do like that he has these sort of stormy seas down in his waist, the way that he's drawn. I think he's very beautiful and he's kind of solemn in this deck. He's not necessarily a solemn card, but I kind of feel like there's like sort of memories when I look at the waves in his gut there, with the whales kind of thrashing about. It's not necessarily a bad feeling, but I kind of get a feeling that like past relationships have taken their toll on you, maybe emotionally, and those emotions kind of still, the waters run deep within you. And so I wonder if you're willing or able to be vulnerable again, is sort of the feeling that I'm getting from this particular card. So we're going to get into the other cards and sort of see what's going on. But that's my first hit on that. So, but this is your center. So I do like that it's so romantic. I also like that it's very much in charge and kind of a little bit on the protective side when it comes to love, but that's okay. So in the foundation or in the past, this tells me a little bit about what was going on before all of this. This is the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles would indicate a loss or a setback. It would also indicate kind of being left out in the cold. When I look at this here, it sort of feels like maybe there's been previous relationships or previous love where we've really been hurt or where we've sort of stifled ourselves. This rose in the cage kind of makes me feel like this is you in a weird way, maybe hiding where you truly bloom or the true beauty that's within you for fear of maybe upsetting someone or attracting unwanted attention. Whatever it was like sort of like you kind of maybe in the past have put yourself on hold. And when I look at this King of Cups, that might be some of the push-pull energy that I feel a little bit, where it's like, how do I want to describe this? Like, I know I want love, but I also don't want to give up anything to have the love that I want because I've given up so much in past experiences and it's not served me very well. Normally, this being in this position, I would be nervous about this card being down here, but I actually like that this card's down here because I feel like the memory of this actually reminds you of how much sort of you, not risk, but how much you have going for you right now that is allowing you to almost be in this position of this King of Cups, where it's like a little bit on the protective side, but also understanding the value of what you have and wanting or desiring to protect that. Does that make sense? And so I like that this card is down here as the foundation, in the sense that even though it may have come from a time that was harder for you, or where you limited yourself or didn't feel like you had the freedom to truly be who you are or were at that time, now you're more aware of that, and so you might be a little bit on the apprehensive side, but that's okay. So let's see what the spirit or soul wants. The spirit or soul wants the Two of Wands. I love this because wands is the element of spirit or fire. So when we have this up here, Two of Wands can indicate sort of that emotional, I wouldn't call it emotional connection, but it's similar to like the emotional connection of the Two of Cups, but it's more spiritual in nature, right? And when I see twos, I think of couplings. Sometimes it can be about exploring the relationship with the self too, or deepening that relationship within ourselves. But to me, this would indicate, especially with this King of Cups here in the center, that the goal here is that sort of, how do I want to put this? Like that spiritually connected, real deal love, right? That sort of all in, on fire, soul burning, impassioned kind of love. That's sort of where I think that your spirit wants you to focus, where your spirit wants you to realize is available to you, what's out there for you. It's somewhere in the world. And it's interesting to me too, because this boat was making me think of travel, and this world is making me think of travel. I don't know if there's somebody far away or somebody that you're talking to that you might have to travel to, but there could be some sort of idea of traveling or opening up one's world or one's scope in this pursuit of love. In this pursuit of having what it is you desire, or finding what it is that you desire. The next two cards are the outside influences. These are things that are affecting you either positively or negatively at this time. They can be people, events, sometimes belief systems or energies that are having an effect on you. So this is the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. This would indicate new beginnings, certainly, very much so. This could be very much, I want to look at the other sign, but sometimes this can actually represent, sometimes people call this the wedding ring card. I don't see this as a wedding ring in this reading, but I do see this as a new beginning, a very grounded, what's the word, like palpable, realistic new beginning. It may take a minute to get here. Pentacles energy, Ace energy is the quickest of the Pentacles, I would say, but Pentacles energy is the slowest out of all of the elements. So there's also a little bit of patience that requires with Pentacles energy. So it's like the idea of being open to a new world, a new perspective, something new in your environment. A change could take place that you need to sort of welcome in, that it will be beneficial. It will come out of the blue. This doesn't necessarily indicate to me that it's a person per se, but it could be a shift in, I don't know, where we work, where we go every day, what we do, that opens up a new door or a new sort of window that might bring something in that could be exciting in the romance department. Let's see what the other card is. The other card is the Moon. So with this card, the Moon can sometimes, to me, I like the Moon card because it is associated with the water signs. It's very much like, it aligns with Cancer and Pisces very much so, and I'm a Pisces. So the Moon doesn't scare me. The Moon, to me, for some people, it can indicate confusion, unclear messages being sent our way, emotional messages being sent our way, being a little bit tossed and turned and whatever. It could be mixed messages being sent towards us. This to me could present itself, the way that I want to interpret this is this could present ourselves in ways where we want to be careful with our thinking when we find ourselves in experiences that may not be the exact right experiences when it comes to love, and then we find ourselves reacting to them emotionally, like how we're being treated, or in a way, like if we're not being validated in a way that we expect, we give maybe more attention to that situation or more power to that situation than it actually deserves. Does that make sense? And so we want to be careful of that. Trust your intuition. There's going to be a lot of probably coming up in the near future areas where you're going to need to listen to that more subtle voice. The thing is what you've got set up spiritually in your spirit space, to me personally, is this idea of that sort of on fire, blazing spiritual love. Like that's kind of what you want. It's like a soulmate thing versus just any old thing. You've had just any old thing in the past and it hasn't really worked out. And so I kind of feel like listening to our intuition and our spirit and letting that be the guide, and then being patient as new things begin to open for us. These new things will be good. And if you look at this picture, she's like looking at this seed coming up out of the ground, right? So in essence, like if something new sprouts up, don't be surprised, but give it time to grow into something beautiful, lush, and strong. It will in due time. Pentacles is a very strong energy, but like I said, it requires some patience. And so if you're getting emotional or weird feelings or like situations where you're getting crossed messages, whatever, don't let that sort of weigh you down is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Trust and listen to your more intuitive voices, and let those be your guide through this time. I'm going to look at this Two of Wands really quick. So we have the Knight of Cups, very much a romance kind of guy showing up there. The Knight to me is probably even a little bit more romantic than the King of Cups, in all honesty. So it's like, this would be the Romeo to your Juliet. It's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. The Two of Swords, this could be indecision. This could be about, let me see, hold on. I want to look at, and then the Nine of Swords. Okay. So it's like this fight in essence, do we believe in him or do we not? It's kind of what I'm getting up here. The spirit believes that it exists. There's some sort of pull within you, I think, that lets you know that like there is a certain person out there for you. But I think that your logical mind sometimes may fight that. The romantic in you wants to keep that alive. You may stress and worry about that at times. I feel like this Swords energy obviously is more mind ego stuff, but it battles and comes up against the spirit. And the spirit tells you, no, he's out there. And you say, no, well, you know, I don't know if I believe that fully. And then when you do believe it, sometimes I think it does shift into anxiety, worry, and fear for you. And so it's hard to want to trust and believe in this dream. And I really think that the King of Cups wants to believe in that dream, right? You need to believe in that dream, to be honest. And I think that the dream is very much out there for you, but it requires some patience. So I'm going to just shuffle for the outcome, because these are supposed to be quick readings. Sorry, guys. Oops. I'm all over the place with the cuts here. So the outcome is the King of Pentacles, but it's the feminine version. So in this deck, hold on, I want to turn on another light because I don't feel like I have enough light in here. 1 second. So in this deck, guys, there's all of the kings have feminine versions. The artist of this deck made both a masculine King of Cups and a feminine King of Cups. And like the emperors, all of the kings have feminine versions. It's kind of cool. But I leave all of those kings in the deck because I kind of feel like I like the feminine and masculine aspects. What I love about this is we have this King of Cups, right? King would be masculine, cups would be feminine, in my opinion, just the way that I choose to view it and see it. Pentacles, on the other hand, would be masculine, right? But what I love here is we have this Ace of Pentacles, which I told you, right? You needed a little bit of patience, allow new things to grow, allow new seeds to blossom. They might even be seeds because it's an Ace of Pentacles. It might be seeds that you don't actually even understand are seeds yet. Let time and, how do I want to say it? Let time and grace and sort of dedication be your guides, right? As you go through this period and be single for, you might be single for a little while, but I feel like this is kind of the harmony of, if these two cards got together and had a baby, it would be this card. Does that make sense? Because we have the King of Cups coupled with the feminine version of the King of Pentacles, which is this Cups energy and this King, and then this Ace of Pentacles coming together. So I feel like this outside influence of the Ace of Pentacles indicates that you will start to pick up on the messages of whatever the newness is, this represents in your life when it comes to love, and you will pay attention to it and you will make good use of it. That's the King of Pentacles. But she's also in this feminine role where she feels a little bit more willing to be vulnerable versus that sort of, I wouldn't say he's unwilling, but I got this sort of sense that you might have felt a little bit guarded or protective of where you're at right now, and that's completely fine. That's where you want to be. The King of Cups is a beautiful card to have as your center, especially in a romance reading. But this particular King of Cups makes me feel a little bit moody and a little bit not fearful, but like reluctant to be vulnerable just yet, but for the right reasons. Let's say that. Okay. Here, the King of Pentacles is the master manifester, but it's this feminine version, right? So to me, it feels like we've softened a little bit. We start to see the fruits of our labor. This little blossom here that we see in the Ace, look at all of the flowers that are all around her. All of a sudden, she sees those little seeds that took root way back when. She was patient, and she now understands why she needed to be patient, because she's in the center of her creation, enjoying all of it. Does that make sense? So I think that things are going to be fine in the love department for you. You just got to be, and you'll still sort of be in charge too. That's what I love about that feminine King of Pentacles, is like you would never, it doesn't say to me that you had to give anything up. You're actually, you have this Five of Pentacles down here too from the past, where you did have to give things up in previous relationships, or give up parts of yourself, deny parts of yourself. You've been, hurt or left in the cold kind of thing in previous relationships. Here, we don't have to do that. We can actually be our own sort of provider in a way. So I do like that. So that is your reading, dear. Debbie, are you here? I don't know if Debbie ever showed up. You're welcome, Ashley. You're very welcome. Stephanie, I'm doing readings for the Patreon subscribers, or for anybody that wants to purchase a reading, or for, yeah, that's it. Sorry, I'm a little brain dead, guys. I didn't even know it was Sunday. I'm totally addicted to that show. I think we're going to wait for Kelly to come back. Kelly says she has to drive her son, so we'll just chat for a minute. And hopefully Debbie will show up. I'm not sure if she's going to show up or not. Is that right? Okay, there we go. I'm like totally, I've been watching that show. Have you guys watched 60 Days In? Do you guys know it at all? I found it on Hulu, and I'm like obsessed. I've watched the last 4 seasons over like the last, I don't know, like week or 10 days. I've been like watching it, like episode after episode, binge watching it. It's that reality show where they put people into prison. It's amazing. It's crazy. It's really good. Like, I don't know. I find it kind of fascinating, just the whole culture of jail and stuff like that. I've never been to jail, so I find it interesting. And they kind of find really weird kind of people to do it, like interesting characters that have like weird reactions. And now I'm on like season 4, and some of the people are starting to react as poorly as the prisoners that are in there, the actual legitimate inmates. And they're making, these participants are they're in there undercover. So it's this whole thing. And then they're making like really poor life decisions while in there. And you're like, oh my God, where did they find these people? I'm on Atlanta now, Lisa. I'm on the 2nd season of Atlanta. The one where the guy goes in with his son, and then the lesbian girl falls in love, and like all this crazy shit's going on. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. So I like totally was watching that before I got the message from Debbie, and she's like, are you going to do Charming tonight? I was like, oh shit. Excuse me. And so we sit in silence. I don't know. I've just been watching it a lot. I've been watching that, and what else? I think that's just really it. And then my normal programs, like all the Real Housewives and stuff like that, I watch that stuff. But that's like new episodes of stuff. Like I have to wait each week for the new episodes to come out. I don't know. Don't. I'll have to look for it and see if it's any good. I'm gonna message Debbie. I don't. She messaged me. I told her I would get on, and then I don't know where she is. I don't know. I don't know. Oh man. No. I wish it was back on. Bad Girls Club's not back on. Don't play with my heart like that. I love Bad Girls Club. I rewatch Bad Girls Club from time to time. I'll just turn on a season because I love that shit. I love it. Like I wish they would bring Bad Girls Club back. Like I would be a happy man if they brought that Ratchet show back. I love that show. I love that show. I'm wondering if Debbie's commenting and I can't see her comments for some reason because she messaged me. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I probably know which girl it is. I have the only ones I've not seen, I want to say the first 3 seasons. I have like from season 4 on, I have all seasons of the Bad Girls Club. But I missed the first 3, I think. Because I wasn't watching it back when it was first on the network. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't learn about it until many years later when I don't even know. Like I found it somehow. I don't even know how I came across it. But a lot of the seasons were already out. I'm trying to remember. Like I feel like I started watching it late in the game. Like all the good seasons had already happened. Like Miami, Mexico, when they were in. I think they were in, where were they? Cancun or somewhere with Julie. That was a great season. But I missed all those seasons. I got to see them on demand, like streaming services. And so Miami was great. New Orleans was great with Judy J, and what was the other seasons? They're all like they had some of the earlier seasons I thought were really really great. They were just so awesome. Those girls were so crazy. I love Julie. I love Judy J. And then there was the twins from Boston. I can't think of their names. Oh my God, where were they? That was what season? I can't remember what city they were in. The twin sisters where they got beat up and then she's like, "Do you want some Chipotle?" What were their names? I love them. They were awesome. Shit, I can't remember now. I can't think of their names. The something twins. There was another set of twins that came later in the sister season that I didn't like so much, but I love the twins from Boston. Long dark hair from Chicago. Is she African American? Or is she a white girl? Or Latina? I can't remember all their names. That's the thing. I can't even remember the names of the sisters, the twins. They were beautiful though. And they were kind of, they didn't know how to fight at all. And then they went up in that house and they were too smart for their own good in some ways. Like they kind of stirred the pot a little bit too much. Gabby was one of the sisters, Gabby and shit, I can't remember. And I know one of them has a baby. There were some good girls on that show. She's white with long dark hair. Well, no, Shannon was from later, and Shannon was up in I want to say like Oregon. Rocky was great in the later seasons. I loved Rocky. She was from California. She was fierce. Oh, I don't know. Bar Rescue. We're totally sitting here talking about reality TV while I wait for Kelly to come back. But I wish they would bring back Bad Girls Club. And then there was that girl, Camilla. She was badass. She was not to be messed with. There were so many good girls that they had on that show. The casting people found the best people for that show. Because those girls just didn't give a fuck. Like, that's what I loved about them. They were like down for the get down. Melinda, the Bad Girls Club is on Hulu. I think that I'm not sure how many seasons are on there. It might start from New Orleans on, but New Orleans, it's a whole premise. The premise is that it was like the Real World, but it was with girls only, and it was by the makers of the Real World. What ended up happening is they needed to make a show for the Oxygen Network, and they took some of the girls that were a little bit like dicier, I think, from like Real World castings and stuff, the girls that were a little bit more hood and street, and they put them all in a house together and then had them live together in an effort to kind of straighten up their behavior. That was always the goal of the Bad Girls Club, but they never, I mean, they do like very small things, like they might go see a counselor or something, but it's not the main focus of the show. The main focus of the show is to watch these girls be ratchet, and they like go out and they get drunk and then they fist fight and they screw boys, and they're just girls being crazy. But there was something about it that was just so good. Like that's such a guilty pleasure. No, we're waiting for you. I have not watched Mob Wives. I've heard it's good though, and I love there's one of the Mob Wives. I follow her on Instagram, I think, because there was some video of hers where she was talking about the Kardashians, and I thought it was brilliant. And I didn't realize she was one of the Mob Wives. I should watch it. I would probably love it because I know that people were big fans of it. So Kelly, did you want cards or charming? Well, that's kind of the excitement too. That's why I like 60 Days In too, because there's always this threat of like, they're gonna get beat up or they're, and that was always the fun of Bad Girls Club, like who was gonna survive. And also I loved when they'd bring the new girls in and like watching the new girls struggle to get along with the girls that were established in the house. Because that's the one thing that they did differently is like they rotated, they would beat each other up. Like these girls would get drunk and fight, and they'd get into nasty fistfights, and then one of them would inevitably have to leave the house, and so they would get replaced by a new girl. They'd just bring a new girl in. So there was always these new girls rotating in, like this new cast of characters constantly through the whole season of the show. So it was different in that way, and I just used to love to see like who was the new girl and what was she going to be like, and would she be tough, and would she be like a boss or a baller or some ratchet skank hoe from down by the shore. You never know. And so that was always the fun and the appeal. She said, what? Cheers me G up in the chat. I don't know what that means. Oh, charming. She said charming. Okay. Kelly, are you here? I just want to make sure she's here. No, she said that before she went to drop off her son. I just want to make sure that that's indeed what she wants. Because I'm just I think I'm waiting for her, and then that's it. Because I don't think Debbie's getting on. Like, she hasn't messaged back, so I don't know what happened. Hey, Jen, did you get my text? I texted you on Facebook this morning. I asked you if you wanted to get together this afternoon to do your reading because I saw that you sent me money. You didn't respond, which is normal for you. You didn't see anything? Did I not send it? I could have swore I sent it to you this morning before work. Yeah, I sent it at 7:08 on Facebook. 7:08 a.m. my time. It was like right after I got online for work, and then I asked you if you wanted to get together this afternoon. All right, Kelly, so you want to do a charming, and did you have a subject matter or just general? Let me make sure my camera is good. Excuse me, guys. Don't mean to yawn on you. The charmings that I'm doing for people tonight, Stephanie, are people that are subscribed to the Patreon channel. So on the Patreon page, you know how I do the daily forecast? Over on patreon.com, if you sign up for an account and you sign up, it's a way that they subscribe to the channel every monthly, where they subscribe at the highest level, which is $33.33 a month. And so they get one free charming, or like they can have a card reading like Ashley just had per month. So I like Kelly, Lisa, Jen, all of these people are Patreon subscribers that they not only watch the daily forecast, but they watch it over on Patreon. And so they're entitled to collect a charming or a card reading once a month at a live on a Sunday night. So that's what they're doing. And then anybody that wants to buy a reading can buy one for $25 on a Sunday night broadcast. Like I make that available to people that like are kind of like walk-ups in a way, right? And then if there's nobody doing anything, then either I stay on and I'll maybe do free card readings, or, you know, if I feel like doing that, or I just sign off. But Patreon's just one way of people sort of supporting the YouTube channel. So because over there you get the daily forecast that I put out on YouTube. I usually film it the day ahead, and then I send it out to the Patreon page a day early. So every level over there gets the they get the daily forecast a day early. I put it up usually I film it right after I broadcast on the Patreon, not Patreon, the YouTube channel. So once the video goes live on YouTube in the morning, I've usually filmed or will film right after that for the next day, and then I release that on Patreon. That's how it works. So Kelly, yeah, I know, I'm ready for you. I was wondering if you had a specific subject or you just want a general charming, like just a general look at the charms. Never heard of what? I'm confused. What is going on? Never heard of what? I don't know what Kelly's referencing. I'm not sure what she's talking about. Oh wait, Kelly, are you no longer on the Patreon? She may not be, actually. I don't see her here anymore. Oh, 60 days. But Kelly, you are no longer on the Patreon, right? I don't see you on the list anymore. It's fine if you're not. I thought you were still on the list, but I guess you're not. It's on both Hulu and Netflix. It's called 60 Days In. And it's a reality TV show where they send people into prison, into county jail as plants. And it's kind of good. I mean, it's sort of a little bit hyped up, like they put in soundtrack and editing to make it a little bit more suspenseful than it probably actually really is, but it's entertaining. I love it, but I like that sort of like reality TV crap. But it's on, I think, it's on definitely on Hulu, and I believe it's just been released on Netflix. But I found it and was watching it on Hulu. It's called 60 Days In. So Kelly, did you have a subject matter that you want me to charm on? Yeah, it's kind of intense, Jen, and it's crazy. Like I'm fascinated by it too. Just the whole jail culture, like it's a little bit bizarre. I did. I did watch Oz. Oz was good. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the new Conjuring movie. I tend to not watch supernatural stuff if I can get away with it. Like horror supernatural stuff. I don't like it when it's like ghosty shit. That stuff I don't really watch that much. I like um slasher movies, like if it's like Jason or zombies or Michael Myers, I can do that sort of stuff. That stuff doesn't bother me, but ghost stuff kind of like I never trust those movies, like because they just jump out of nowhere, apparitions appear out of nowhere. I hate that shit. Like fuck that. I'm not down. All right, now Debbie's saying she's coming online. Oh, here she is. Okay, great. So Debbie, do you want to do your charming? Because I can't seem to get Kelly to give me a subject matter, so I'm kind of confused. So I would just, if you want to start, Debbie, I can do yours. Did you have a subject, Debbie, or do you just want general? Okay. I have an I, a U, and a W. The total is 6. We have 1, 1, and 4. Huh, hold on. So I'm just looking to see what's going on here. This came out twice tonight. That's so weird. Ask if you, as if you have already become the person you want to be. All right, so that seems to be the message for the night. So this to me makes me feel like your home is upside down. I know you asked about love in general, but I kind of feel like obviously this is a very, obvious reference to the house being turned sort of upside down, or home life might be in a bit of a shift, a flux, or change right now. The 2 dolphins to me feel like you're definitely like not in bad spirits. To me, this almost feels like playful, fun, keeping it light, trying to keep things positive or open-minded. So I kind of like that there, but it does feel like sort of maybe stability might be not necessarily readily at hand, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's necessarily bothering you completely, because I feel like this to me feels sort of optimistic. So we may not be letting that get in our way, so to speak. But there's shifts or something happening with the home, like changes that are happening, because this home being flipped upside down to me feels like, okay, something's shifting there. We have all of these positive statement coin things, these glass things, right? This says act as if, what does it say? Act as if you've already become the person you want to be. That's flipped over. This says to me, something on the good things and all good things will come to you. Focus on the good things and all good things will come to you. And this is turned over too. So I feel like in the higher mind and in the subconscious, there might be these voices that you might be trying. I feel like these flipped overs to me, you might be trying to, like, I don't know, like maybe like you're not hearing these messages, these positive affirmations or these positive messages. It makes me wonder, are we seeking out more immediate gratification and pleasure and enjoyment instead of bringing in something that's more substantial in like a positive way of thought or thinking? Does that make sense? Because these are both flipped over. So it makes me feel like, are we missing a component here? And the reason why I say that is the Jaguar, he's here, which is like our own personal power, our own sort of magic, right? But he's flipped over. And to me, this is a very like powerful charm. And so it says to me, you have a lot of power and ability, a lot of skill and ability to maneuver and all of that sort of stuff. But you may not feel that way right now. So it might be due to like home stuff and things being in a state of a little bit of upheaval. So instead of trying to, be positive and channel, it's not about being positive, because you are being positive. It's like, but it's almost like you're being like, this positivity to me doesn't feel as long lasting and as strong as these two are. But we're not listening to these two, or we don't believe these two. Like what they're saying to us, which is this idea of focusing only on the good. And it's like here, we're not, how do I want to say this? It's like we're aware that stuff doesn't feel stable right now. And instead of focusing on it, I almost feel like we're like diverting our attention towards things that make us feel good in the moment, but are they really long-lasting, sustainable things that actually take away the instability of this house being flipped over? It's like, I think you're trying to do the right thing, not trying to, how do I want to say this? You're trying to do what you think is the right thing for the right reasons, but it might not actually be getting the results that you want, right? Let me look at this really quick. So this is the Ace of Swords, and it's flipped over. And then underneath here is Serenity, and this is sitting underneath this one, which says only you can give your special gift to the world. So I feel like there is this idea of moving towards a more positive-minded outlook, but I don't know why, but all of these to me feel kind of mental in there, because they're about your thoughts and where you channel your thoughts and what you focus on. And I feel like these dolphins to me, this was also from a child's ring, right? So to me, they feel a little bit, how do I want to put this? Like, we might be focusing on what makes us feel good momentarily in the moment, but it's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, right? It's like we're not necessarily addressing maybe the deeper issue. We don't feel empowered. We're not trusting sort of new thought and new ways of perceiving stuff. We still maybe feel a little bit sort of unsafe or whatever. And in an effort to sort of mask that, we're like kind of going like, oh, well, let's just have fun right now. We'll deal with that later. I don't want to deal with it. If I deal with it, it's just going to make me feel bad or blah, blah, blah. And really, there is a way to deal with this that is empowered. Whatever it is that you might be kind of, I don't want to say that you're avoiding it. I think this feels earnest to me in the sense that you do feel like you're trying to do the right thing, but is it really the right thing? Because I feel like there's so much more power in these charms that needs to be flipped over, that needs to be brought into the picture so that you can move forward, so that you can like access this stuff and move into the future like serene and ready to like really understand all that you're worth, everything that you have to give, all of those gifts, and bring it into balance, which would be this number 6. The number 4 also indicates a sense of stability coming, like in the future, right? So, but this sort of feels a little bit far off. And this Serenity also makes me feel like, there's a possibility here to kind of end in a place where we do feel much more grounded, healed, better. But it's sort of sitting underneath this idea of having to believe in ourselves, and are we going to get there is kind of the thing that I'm getting. And so it's sort of like when I'm looking at these really positive outlook thoughts and ideas about how we should view ourselves or our situation, I feel like maybe you're not seeing it from that perspective completely, or you don't trust it fully. You're not believing it completely. So you're doing what sort of maybe in the, like, how do I want to say it? Like in the present moment makes you feel like momentarily good, but it's like it may not necessarily be sustaining you for long periods of time. it's like kind of blocking you reaching your jaguar. And you do have a jaguar in there, right? That's the good thing. That's the thing that we need to realize and trust, is that you have a fierce like what the jaguar represents is like sort of fierce magic, power, strength, stealth, all of those things, prowess, like the ability to like solve situations and make things happen. All of that is there on the charm board. It's just sort of like either for some reason you're not accessing it, or you're not trusting it, or it's maybe it's a lot of work to be in that role. So you might just be blowing off like some steam here with these playful dolphins. No, Kelly, I kept asking what topic you wanted and you never responded. You just kept saying, I am here, I am here. So my connection is fine. I was waiting for you to tell me. And you can release and have the jaguar. You certainly can. You need to. You need to embrace that. All right, Kelly, I'll do you next. Just give me one moment. So I hope that makes sense. I know you asked about love, but this to me feels a little bit like maybe we're not quite ready for the love part yet, because we've got this other part here that we need to understand first and foremost within ourselves. There's actually really good statements on all of these glass beads. You know, there's a lot of like powerful manifestational power in here. You just have to trust it and then put it to good use, put it to good work. Even the Ace of Swords would indicate like new thought, outside of the box, out of nowhere, inspiration, honesty, truth, all of that sort of stuff. All right, I'm going to clear this off and do a general for Kelly. All right, so you have an H, you have an O. Kelly, are you a hoe? So this is a number 5. So 5s represent transition. So maybe you're a transitional hoe, Kelly. Like you might be a hoe sometimes, and then sometimes you're not, and that's okay. We don't judge here. So that's okay. We have, interesting, there's a few things that came back out. We've got the crab, we've got the, who is this? So we have the dolphins back. This time they're flipped over. A lot of your stuff feels like it's in the past to me, obviously, apparently. It feels like a lot of kind of wonky energy, to be really honest. This feels like stifled, stuck a little bit. Not able to necessarily feel free or enjoy yourself. What's interesting is we have the 3 of Cups here, which is about family and usually about celebration and coming together. This is the only thing that's upright and face up, which I like that. It says to me that you probably didn't lose contact or sight of who you love and what you hold dear to you. But I kind of get a feeling from these other charms that are all face down around it that maybe you weren't necessarily feeling as though you could access that at all times in the recent past. The flower to me and this goddess here is Green Tara. It feels like you probably wouldn't have, this feels like maybe you to me. And her being turned upside down and face down, you might be putting others in front of yourself, which is okay. But I kind of feel like you're not able to like have the fun that this usually represents to me, like it did in Debbie's reading. It feels like maybe some of that stuff's been put on hold for whatever reason. We also have the baseball player. He's face down, like we're not able to sort of play the game or to be involved in the way that we normally would want to be. And then to me, all of this open space here kind of indicates that like, I feel like you might be in a shift where you're changing out of some of this stuff, this stifled energy. I like that we have this Three of Cups still sitting underneath all of this face up, and it's like sitting perfectly upright, looking right at me. So it feels like the focus, even though you've kept your focus on those that you love or the situations that make your heart happy, you maybe haven't felt like you've had access to them recently. But I feel like you're going, if you're not already in the period, it's starting to shift where you're going to be able to start to create opportunity to get back to those people or those situations. That's also, this says could be up here. And I kind of like that it sort of has this, like this, a little bit of possibility to it, right? All of this sort of feels like it might be attached to other situations or maybe other people where it's not been able to sort of work in your favor or work out the way that you want it. You might have been sacrificing stuff a little bit here and there for others during this time, putting your needs on the back burner. But I kind of feel like whatever this transition is here, and I think that it's happening now, you're probably going into it at this point. It's about starting to begin to build, okay, where do I want to go and where do I want to be? What do I want to do? This is the prayer for your pocket coin. It's just down here in the subconscious, which says to me that like it kind of feels wide open. Like what you pray for, there's that phrase, be careful what you pray for. Like, but what I get from this is it's sort of like begin to start to think about how you want things really, truly, how you truly desire things, because this open space to me feels wide open for possibility and opportunity. So if there's some things that are falling away right now, or things that are feeling heavy or that you don't necessarily like or don't feel like it's fluid or as open or as like free as they could be, I feel like those things are going to get ready to change. They are opening up. Like this to me feels like a chapter's ending, and then not a very fun chapter, let's say that. These guys feel a little bit bunched up and like kind of stifled. I hope that makes sense. So I would say that this open space here indicates like it's a big opportunity for, yes, this is your charming, Kelly. Oh my God. Yes, it's your charming, Kelly. Did you hear everything that I said? Oh, maybe you did miss the beginning. I don't know. You're going to have to go back and watch the video then, dear. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it might be your connection's not very good right now, Kelly. I'm not sure, but you've kind of been not responsive and sort of, I'm not sure. So you'll have to go back and watch the video, dear. But right now, ideally, things are opening up for you, and now's the time to start to like make plans. That's what I'm going to say about this. No, not horribly. It's closing up. Like it feels like things have not been so good. Like things have felt stuck or stifled. Like all of these charms are upside down and face down. So they don't feel very like happy to me, right? So it feels like things have been sort of maybe stuck. The focus has been on the family, on getting things back right and feeling good again. That's maybe been your focus through all of this, but it hasn't necessarily felt that way in the recent past. But we haven't lost hope. This open space, as I said earlier, is about opportunity to start to create that again for yourself. So I would start to take open space, take time to think about things, to start to plan, to pray about things as to how you really want it to be, and begin to start to create that. All of this open space to me feels like a big opportunity to start to shift things towards where you want them to be versus where they maybe have been. And where they have been don't necessarily feel like they're working, how do I want to say this, like for you. Hey, Diggs, by the way. Diggs, by the way, is over on Twitch, you guys. I don't think I can see him. Jen Nichols, there she is with her unicorns. Hey, Mary. Hey, David. All right, so I hope that makes sense. And if you are a hoe, it's okay. We don't judge you. Like, everybody can be a hoe once in a while. That's totally fine. Fives, though, just the numerology of the 5 is about transition and change. So allow things to transition out of whatever stuck cycles they felt like they've been in lately. If things have felt stifled or stuck, let it go and know that you're moving through it. Stay focused on the family and getting life back to feeling good again, which I think that you have been doing. But maybe that's not felt like enough. But I feel like there's a big opportunity for starting to make choices. And you get to pick. You get to be responsible for the choices you make. All right, I'm going to clear that board. And I think that's it. Can't keep a good hoe down. Exactly. It's like, that's actually on a neon sign above my bed. Just kidding. All right. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that we were able to see each other. I'm glad that people reminded me. If I'm not on Sundays, somebody send me a message and just remind me. It's just I'm scatterbrained. I don't realize it's Sunday anymore, having the midpoint of the week off. You're welcome, Kelly. Thank you. Jen Nichols, reach out to me and let's do your reading. Let's get it done. I have one tomorrow at 3:30, or no, sorry, 4 o'clock my time, but I can maybe do it after that, or I can do it the following day on Tuesday after 3:30, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm off this week, so I can do it then any time during the day on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right, you guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to go back to watching 60 Days In. Oh, that can't be good. Don't sleep half the day all week. You got to get up. You got to get out. You got to do stuff. I'm worried about my dog. Her ear is getting infected again. And I'm like, ugh. And now I think like her eye's getting milky. And I'm like, oh my God, is the infection so bad that she's going blind in one eye? Like, I just can't even deal with it. I got to take her to the vet tomorrow. I got to call the vet in the morning. They're not open today. I tried to call them today. I'm like, ugh. It's like stressing me out. All right, you guys, I'm going to go cuddle with the dog and watch TV. But I will talk to you guys later. See you guys tomorrow in the morning here on the YouTube channel for the daily. Thank you, Vicky. And Vicky, you get a June reading too. I don't even know if you collected your May one. I don't think you did. In the end, I don't think you actually did. So you have to do that. I did warm compresses on it. She also had it split open at one point in the back for draining, and then it sealed back up, like it healed back up, and then the doctor said just leave it alone, that it would automatically kind of here, I'll show you guys. It's gross. It's only gotten gross in like the last 24 to 48 hours, but I'm not a nurse, so I don't really know, and it smells kind of hideous. Hold on, she didn't sleep on the bed. Sorry. So I don't know how to best show you guys this, but this is her. Hi. See how her eyes look milky? But this is her ear. It's okay. It's okay. Come here. She doesn't even want me near it. And she's acting like she's she's acting weird, like in the sense that like I think she can't see me. Like, or not see me as well. Come here. No. She's sniffing the computer. It's the computer. This is why I don't think she can see me. Come here. Let me show them your ear. It's okay. Yeah, it's just the computer. See, I think she can't see and she needs to smell everything. But see how it's all puffy? Like, hold on. And then there's like fluid coming out from the inside that stinks. And I keep cleaning it with like a Q-tip. And it's just in the last 24 hours, it's gotten kind of gross. And so, and her eye's gotten milky on that side of her face. Like that eye, when I look at it, it's like white and glazed over and it kind of freaks me out. And so I'm thinking that if it is an infection, I don't know that she could go blind that fast, but she's acting kind of strange. And so she's been acting weird though, if I really want to think about it, like probably for the last week or two, she's been like, she won't step down off of furniture. She'll jump up on furniture, but she won't jump down. Like even for food, to go to the bathroom. And for like the last few weeks, she's been going to the bathroom in the house by accident. Like at night, I'll take her out to pee and then she'll come in, she'll go to the water bowl, which is normal for her. And then she will poop on the floor. Like I'll walk back out into the kitchen to like get a glass of water or whatever, and I'll find little poop pebbles. And I'm like, we were just outside. But it's because she's old. She's 9 this summer. So she's getting up in age. And so she's not really, it's got me a little bit nervous. Like, and that white milkiness in her eye was not there like last week at all. But she sleeps so much too that it's like, you know, her eyes are while she's sleeping on the bed. So I don't like look into her eyes. But like today I noticed it. It's like got this weird film and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm hoping antibiotics will fix it. Like I got to get her there though. Like that's the thing. I don't have a car. It's like, it's been a pain in the ass. So I got to get an appointment tomorrow. I'm hoping they can see me tomorrow. It wasn't this white yesterday. And now it's got this weird milky shine to it that I'm like, whoa, that wasn't there yesterday. So I'm concerned. But her like, you know how they have that under thing that like, they call it, it's like another lid. It's like a secondary lid, that pink puffy stuff. I noticed that was up higher than it normally is yesterday. And I thought maybe she and the puppy play and the puppy kind of uses his paws a lot, which I hate that because he's got these friggin' sharp little puppy claws and he's only playing, but I'm always afraid he's going to take out an eye. And I noticed her inner lid was like up higher than it normally is. And it looked kind of red. And I was like, is it inflamed because of her ear or did the puppy hit it? And now today her eyes milky and I'm like, oh Jesus. So my cat has it in one ear and I got dropped. Yeah, I think her vision isn't affected. And when I take her to the door, I'll carry her to the back door and I set her down and I thought it was because of her back legs because she's had back leg surgery. She's kind of my trouble dog. Like she's always had issues throughout her life. But I'll set her at the back door, at the sliding glass door, and then she stops and she won't go out. She has to like pause at that little like 1-inch gap to step down into the yard. It's really weird. It's not even a very high gap. And I feel like she doesn't trust it. Like she's like kind of, she pauses and waits and I go, it's okay, go ahead. And then she'll step forward. She like sniffs a little bit and then steps forward. And it makes me think that maybe she's freaking losing her sight. And I'm like, oh God. I started reading it up. I started looking it up this morning, like earlier this afternoon, like how signs of a dog going blind, because I wanted to know, you know, milky eye, blah, blah, blah. And I looked up, can an ear infection cause blindness? And indeed it can. I'm like, oh Jesus. So, and that ear has been, in the last few months, it's been nothing but trouble. We've been fighting that ear for a good, I would say 4 months now, where it's been like cut open and drained and cut open and drained. And it's still like puffy like that. And the doctor said, oh, don't worry, that will stay that size and then drain back into the head. So I don't know if the liquid is coming from that thing or if it's an infection liquid. But it doesn't smell good. I can tell you that because I clean it with Q-tips. I like try and dry it out by scraping that fluid out. It's disgusting and it smells. So I'm like concerned. Oh, that's Tallulah. Gabriel's fine. Gabriel's the puppy. He's fine. Tallulah's the one that's been sick. Gabriel was he's been fine. It's been Tallulah that's had the ear issue. I don't know if it's cataracts. That's what I don't know. I got to find out. But this whiteness to her eye has shown up literally in the last 24 hours. So it concerns me. And like when you saw, like when I brought the computer up to her, she like acted like she didn't know what was going on and like she needed to sniff the computer. She never been used to do that. Like, and I think what it is she can't tell what I'm placing in front of her. I read that in a doctor's thing. They said you could put a hand and take it from 18 inches to 3 inches and see what she does. But the thing is, she seems to know it's my hand, but I think she can smell my hand. I also read that dogs can adjust to blindness more easily because they rely so heavily on scent. So that's one good thing. And she knows the house and stuff. So I may have to lift her on and off of furniture and stuff, but if she goes blind in one eye, it's going to be an adjustment. Probably more so for me than her. But I use ear cleaner on it, like an ear cleaning solution, because she's always had ear issues, but it's never been this bad. But I think some of this is due to her age. I think that possibly we're facing these bigger issues because she's just getting older. And I don't know what happened with this round. It's never puffed up like that. But she's had where her ears get really red or inflamed, and then I take her to the doctor, and the doctor will put her on antibiotics, and then I clean them, or I have to put medicine in them. But we've never had like this pocket or the what did he call it? Not a boil, but a abscess. She got an abscess this time, and she's never had that before. So that had to be drained 3 different times. It was a pain in the ass, and we still have it. Like it's still. If that ear still like sprouts out, it's not supposed to do that. So, but I have cleaner and I put that in there. And now I'm kind of leery of putting the cleaner in there because I don't want it to, she's been shaking her head a lot. And so it makes me worried. So I want a doctor to see her first before I do anything else. I've just been cleaning it with dry Q-tips to kind of keep the liquid out and move whatever that liquid is out. Because it's like brownish. And she's always had like weird ear issues. And then sometimes the bout of my existence with her. She also goes around and she licks all the other dogs, and she licks in their ears in trade. It's like prison trade where, you know, you give me some of your commissary and I will give you some of mine. So she'll go around and groom everybody so that like once I'm asleep, they'll lick in her ears, and her ears smell like cesspools of like grossness. And so the other dogs are like, that smells like a really good flavor. Let me put my hot tongue in there. And that creates more bacteria and drama. And I'm asleep during the whole thing. And so I don't even realize that they've had hot ear action all night. And then I wake up and her ears all like, thank you, Melinda. I appreciate it. I just want her to be better. And I don't really want her to, but she's I was looking up bulldog lifespan and stuff, and they do live anywhere between 7 and 10. If you're lucky, you can get them to maybe 12. Like at the outset 14, but that's like really rare is my understanding. So she's now going to be 9 this summer. Her and Bodhi are both turning 9. So they're kind of hitting, Bodhi seems to be in good health. So that's good. Because I'd be freaking out if he was deteriorating, but I'm wondering if she's not just getting old. She's had leg surgery on both of her legs, and it's just, so she's moving more slowly, and it's hard to watch. It could be ear mites. She's had them before, so, and puppies carry ear mites, so he could have brought them in. I don't know. So I need to have her ears checked because it wasn't this bad like a week ago at all. And now it's like bad. And now her ears milky and white. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, I can't. I mean, it's weird. Like, I get kind of sad because I'm like, oh God, I didn't think about this part when I bought dogs. Like, even when I bought the first two, she's my first one, and her and Bodhi I got together like 9 years ago. And so I wasn't thinking about the fact that they're going to grow old and become feeble. It's kind of sad. So, but that's okay. Thank you, Vicky. I hope she will too. She will. We'll get her. We'll get her right. We'll get her to a place where she's comfy. And I mean, she has a hard job. She lays in bed all day. So I'm gonna go lay with her. Actually, I like to cuddle her right now, just because I feel bad for her because I don't feel like she doesn't know what's going on. And I think it's just all part of the process. It's just sad. I was thinking about it today. Like I was doing the dishes, and I was like, you know, having to watch this. It's so hard. So. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. I will talk to you later, next Sunday or something. All right. But have a good night. Thank you. Bye.